There's survival knowledge, and then there's the kind that punches through the noise, grabs you by the instincts, and says, "Hey, don't forget I exist." Today's topic is exactly that. A forgotten soldier trick so strange, so effective, and so field-tested that once you understand it, you'll never look at rust or vinegar the same way again. And if you're rolling with the Preppers Survival Blueprint family, hit that subscribe button, because this is the kind of battlefield intel that transforms how you prep. Let's dive into the Rust and Vinegar Light Hack, the ancient, soldier, proven glow source that still works when modern gear fails. When we talk about forgotten field science, this one ranks near the top, not because it was bright or beautiful, but because it worked when nothing else did. Long before reliable batteries, long before LEDs, soldiers had to fight the night using whatever they had. Open flames risked exposing their position. Lantern oil ran dry. Matches were loud and obvious. Darkness was a tactical disadvantage, but producing light was dangerous. So soldiers turned to what most people overlook completely: rust and weak acid. These weren't special materials, they were everywhere. And the moment soldiers realized they could coax a faint, stable glow from something as worthless as oxidation, the hack quietly became a part of nighttime fieldcraft. Scouts used it, sappers used it, night watch units used it, not because it was bright, but because it was safe, controlled, and nearly invisible from a distance. Here's the real magic. Rust meets vinegar, and a mild chemical reaction begins. The acid dissolves the iron oxide. It exposes fresh iron, which keeps the reaction cycling. The process releases a trickle of heat and a whisper of hydrogen gas, not enough for flame, not enough for danger if you're in a ventilated area, but enough to warm certain natural minerals. Soldiers discovered that chalk dust, gypsum, plaster, powder, even fine campfire charcoal, give off a faint glow when warmed slowly. It's a natural phosphorescence that most people never think about. Combine the warmth from the rust and vinegar reaction with a layer of glow-friendly mineral powder, and you get a soft amber illumination. Not a flame, not a spark, just a steady chemical glow, lasting up to 3 hours depending on moisture and temperature. Perfect for reading a map in hostile territory. Perfect for fixing gear in a pitch-black tent. Perfect for any situation where being seen was more dangerous than being blind. Let's talk about how soldiers actually built these glow units in the field. They weren't chemists. They weren't carrying beakers or equipment. They worked with scrap and grit and improvisation. Most often they scraped rust from old cans, tools, bayonets, or abandoned metal plates. The key was to grind it as fine as possible. The finer the powder, the more surface area, the stronger and steadier the reaction. They mixed that rust with just enough vinegar to make a thick paste, not soupy, not runny, a paste that could hold shape. Then they pressed a thin layer of chalk dust or charcoal across the top. Some soldiers reinforced the mixture with rolled cloth or twine to stop it from cracking as it dried. Others shaped makeshift trays from metal scraps or thick leather, whatever would hold the reaction safely. Once assembled, the mixture began reacting almost immediately. Within 20 to 30 minutes, the glow reached usable strength, and the thing that made it so valuable was its discrete profile. A candle or flame could be spotted from miles away. This glow, practically invisible unless you were right on top of it. Now, let's fast forward to modern prepping. Why should you care about this strange old trick? Because your high-tech gear is not invincible. Batteries die in the cold. Flashlights get submerged. Power grids fail. Even glow sticks expire. And when the odds stack up against you, having multiple layers of light options becomes more than convenience, it becomes survival. Rust is everywhere. If the world shut down tomorrow, you'd find more rust than you could ever use. Vinegar lasts basically forever, and chalk, charcoal, or plaster dust are some of the easiest materials to source during a crisis. This method requires no flame, no spark, no electricity, no specialized equipment, just understanding. In an off-grid scenario or long-term blackout, that's priceless. It means you can create low-level light quietly and safely, without drawing attention, without risking fire, and without depending on fragile modern components. It's light that refuses to die, as long as you have iron, oxygen, and weak acid. Let's break down how you can replicate this today in a safe, controlled environment. Start with heavily rusted steel. Scrape and grind it into powder. Avoid painted or chemically treated metal. Keep it clean. Mix the rust with white vinegar until you form a thick paste. Spread a thin layer of powdered chalk, plaster, or charcoal over the top. Place the mixture in a shallow metal lid or ceramic dish. Keep it in a ventilated area, because even small traces of gas need somewhere to go. Within half an hour, you should see a soft, ember-like glow forming. Now understand this: you're not creating fire, you're not creating a spark, you're generating a slow chemical warmth that ignites phosphorescence. If the mixture dries out too quickly, add a few drops of vinegar. If it gets too wet, add more rust. The balance is everything. Once you've mastered that ratio, you can reproduce this glow anywhere, anytime, with nothing but scavenged materials. What amazes me most isn't the chemistry, it's the mindset of the soldiers who created it. They were surrounded by darkness, danger, and uncertainty, yet they refused to accept that they had no options. They experimented, they observed, they adapted, they found a way to turn trash into technology. And that's exactly the spirit behind prepping. Looking at the world, not as it is, but as it could be when everything falls apart. When you learn a forgotten skill like this, you're not just adding another trick to your survival toolkit, you're training your mind to see potential everywhere. You're learning to solve problems with nothing but scrap and knowledge, and you're keeping alive a piece of survival history that deserves to be remembered. So if you found value in this ancient field trick, if it sparked something in you, make sure you subscribe and share this video. The more people who know these forgotten skills, the stronger our entire community becomes. Stay sharp, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next one.